Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Culture. After a long time no see, we are finally back with another episode. A film that was recently released in theaters has gained a lot of traction, and that of course is director Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the titular character, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, along with many other stars. The Batman follows Bruce Wayne in his second year of being the crime-fighting vigilante Batman. This time he is faced against the Riddler, who has a diabolical scheme against Gotham City. Batman is joined alongside Selina Kyle and has to face many characters along the way. Now, this specific film has become widely popular since its release on March 4th. And as it has become more and more popular, more and more comments have been made about the film. So on today's episode of Nerd Culture, I'm going to be hosting a panel. Today I will be joined alongside Sam Farsky, Matthew Weiniger, and Thomas Biamonte to share our thoughts about the film. If you have not seen the film, I really do recommend that you do see it. In my personal opinion, it is a fantastic film, and there's just so much to love about Matt Reeves' The Batman. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi, I'm Michael Garcia, and I am here with
Thomas Biamonte,
Sam Farsky,
Matthew Weiniger.
And today we're here to talk about Matt Reeves' The Batman. So we'll go throughout a couple of questions and we'll all discuss our different opinions. So the first question, and I'll start with Thomas, what technical aspect of the film did you find the most interesting?
Definitely the cinematography by far. I think it was some of the best cinematography in a superhero movie to date.
Yeah, I would say going off that, the way they were able to make a 3-hour movie with all these different shots and you're not feeling bored and waiting for what comes next. You're always in the shot and excited what was happening.
Yeah, they both said everything, and they really, with the technical aspects, made Gotham seem like it's the best it's ever been. And just all those different types of shots and the tone of the movie just really set it up to be a great movie.
Yeah, I'd agree with all those. I also, one specific thing I love is just whenever Batman enters a room, you hear the footsteps. It's almost like when a cowboy enters a scene in a way, and I just like that they added that in the sound design. What aspect of the writing or story did you find the most interesting?
I just liked the new take on the DC characters. I've always, I'm a Marvel fan myself, and personally I've always been a DC critic when it comes to the characters because I always viewed them as, they don't fail as much as the Marvel characters. But in this movie, I saw Batman get knocked down tons of times, and he's not perfect like some of the other DC characters, which I liked.
Yeah, I would say how in Marvel it's very light and always moving around, and I felt this movie was very gloomy, but it was kind of a good gloomy almost. It was cool. It was on the dark side of Batman, which I thought was kind of really cool to see.
I liked how they based it off, I'd say, The Long Halloween, which is a comic book that I think it's a great way to start a trilogy, which I think they're going to start off with. And yeah, I mean, the Riddler was amazing, and I think that building off of that, they can have great movies.
Right. One thing I loved that they did with the writing is they included the narration, which was something that is in Batman Year One. I like that they included that, and I also like just the characterization of Gotham as a setting of the city, because in some other Batman movies you don't really get the characterization of Gotham, but here you actually get that, so that it incorporates into Bruce Wayne's development throughout the film. How do you feel this film differs from other Batman films that have been released over the years?
Well, I think it's definitely darker. I think it's definitely better than any of the other ones that I've seen. I just think that it's everything you love about Batman plus more, It's everything you could ever want.
Yeah, it's definitely darker, and I feel this movie was all about his character. I feel the development from the last one to this movie, I feel he's kind of grown, and we're starting to see the real Batman himself being able to fight these characters and do all this stuff.
Yeah, I like how it's not just the action-packed part of him. He uses a lot of his detective skill and a lot of his brain that Bruce Wayne himself is very smart. He's a owner of his own company, and they just show how he's a great detective. He's the world's best detective.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those. I'd probably also say that this film in particular, I feel I like that it focuses on Batman more, because you have films like the ones with Michael Keaton where most of the standouts are the villain, like Joker, Penguin, Catwoman. And then you have the Nolan films, and I think especially The Dark Knight, the standout are, Joker and Two-Face. But I feel like this Batman film, while Riddler is a standout, you can also see Batman as a standout as well, because he's actually focused on and he has a character arc. And I do really like that about the film. Where would you rank this specific film among other Batman films and maybe even like other comic book films?
I'd say for Batman films, it's number 1. For superhero films, top 5 most or top 15 least, I'd say.
I agree. I think it's definitely the best Batman film we've seen. I'm kind of a Marvel girl, so I like those movies a little bit better, just like the storyline. I feel like I'm more connected to those characters. I would say this is definitely a top 15 movie for me.
Yeah, I think it's better than Dark Knight. I think it's the best Batman movie we've ever had. I'm gonna go on a hot take. I think it's a top 3 best superhero movie we've ever had. Just a portray of Batman that we've never seen.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the better comic book movies that have come out. Not that we haven't had like other good ones, because we've had great ones, but I think it's been one of the top tier ones that have been coming out in the last decade. In terms of Batman movies, it's either this movie or Mask of the Phantasm. Those two are kind of tied because they both have great character arcs, but I think this one edges a little bit more just based on the technical aspect and everything it incorporates. Overall, I think this was just a great comic book film, and I was really glad that Matt Reeves was able to do what he wanted to do with the film. Thank you all so much for watching this discussion. I encourage you to go check out The Batman along with all of us because it truly is a great film, and it's just a great experience overall. I'm Michael Garcia.
I'm Thomas B. Monty.
I'm Sam Farsky.
I'm Matthew Weininger.
And this has been the Nerd Culture Batman discussion. Thank you all very much, and tune in to the next episode. And we're done.
Nerd culture. You said it like that.